Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Kedlick, last night the President of the United States said, and I quote, "We are within weeks of getting a vaccine. Could be 3 weeks, 4 weeks. True or false?"
Sir, it's possible. And so with Operation Warp Speed, we have basically worked to do simultaneously the clinical trials as well as doing the manufacturing of vaccines. So if and when, whether that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, or 4 months, once a clinical trial is complete and that scientific data is reviewed by the FDA and approved, then we have vaccine potentially available immediately to use. And that's the strategy that has been adopted in Operation Warp Speed, sir.
So I want to make sure this is on the record.
Yes, sir.
You're saying 3 weeks to 4 weeks for a vaccine?
Sir, that's manufactured, yes, sir. Now, is it approved by the FDA? That is a decision that they will have to do based on the scientific data that they receive from the clinical trials.
So what you're saying to me is they could manufacture it before it's approved as being safe and effective for distribution in America is going to be beyond 3 or 4 weeks.
Sir, it depends on the outcomes of those clinical trials.
So,
And so I can't predict that. They're ongoing right now, some of them complete in October, and the FDA is the one who will make the decision to determine safety and efficacy, sir.
the President predicted it last night. We have about 4.5% of the world's population in the United States. We have more than 20% of the deaths from COVID-19. Last night, the President said we have 20% of the cases in the world because of the fact that we do much more testing. If we wouldn't do testing, you wouldn't have cases. You would have very few cases. So let me ask Admiral Giroir, would ending testing end the spread of the COVID-19 disease?
No, sir.
Could you explain the President's explanation last night? Does it make any sense to you?
I didn't hear
Oh, we've heard this over and over
hear that
again.
last
Come
night.
on. He's repeating what he said over and over again.
So let me just clarify that the number of cases are going to be the number of cases. We do more testing so we could detect more and more cases. That's a good thing. We want to detect as many cases as we can so that they can be appropriately isolated, do contact tracing, et cetera. It is true that the more testing you do, the more cases you will discover, but the cases are there no matter what.
Now, you talked in your testimony here about expanding testing, and I couldn't endorse that more heartily. The President says just the opposite. If we wouldn't do testing, you wouldn't have cases. I mean, don't we want to create the mindset in America that regular testing to make sure that we're not positive and not spreading this disease should be routine until we come to grips with a therapy or vaccine to deal with this?
So I do want to state what I did state earlier in multiple testimonies. I've never been asked, told, hinted, suggested that we should decrease testing. In fact, basically every time at the task force, we work to expand testing to the degree possible, investing hundreds, billions of dollars in that. So my job is to expand testing as much as feasibly, even infeasibly possible, and get the right test to the right people at the right time. And that's been my mission. No one's told me to alter that.
In July of 2017, the United States Senate considered the repealing of the Affordable Care Act on the floor of the Senate. I'll remember that morning, that night, forever. A few feet away from me, the late Senator John McCain cast a no vote, and the Affordable Care Act survived. The President has said repeatedly that he has a replacement plan for the Affordable Care Act. As head of the agencies responsible for dealing with such a public health undertaking, I would like to ask you, does a replacement plan exist that you are aware of? Any of you? Yes or no? Admiral?
I'm not involved in the replacement plan. I don't know what that is. I supply public health advice as much as I can for whatever that plan would be.
Dr. Kadlec, are you aware of such a replacement plan?
Sir, it's not in my portfolio, and sir, honestly, I've been so busy with the other things, I have no awareness of that. It may exist.
Dr. Redfield, are you aware of a replacement plan?
Again, it's really not in my main lane, but I'm not aware of one.
Just a few weeks ago, the 9 major pharmaceutical companies had full-page ads saying they would not bow to political pressure to rush vaccine production. Were any of you consulted before they made the decision to buy that ad across the United States?
Sir, not consulted, but aware of it, and it conforms with, I think, the feelings and the commitments that the leadership in Warp Speed and in my organization are committed to as well.
Do you know why they did it?
So I think to the point of making sure that everyone is believing in the same way, which is a safe and efficacious vaccine has to be trusted.
Thank you.